Welcome, sleepyheads and pleasure seekers, to Midnight Delights, the Slumber Party edition. We're diving into a topic that'll have you dreaming with a grin. Female sleep orgasms. Yep, you heard it right. Orgasms in dreamland. Get ready to explore the nocturnal adventures that'll leave you wondering, did that just happen in my sleep?
Welcome to Swinger University. I'm Ed.
And I'm Phoebe.
Join us as we explore the exciting world of ethical non-monogamy, sexual health, and sex education with an intellectual and sexy twist.
Grab your pillows and let's dive into the world of slumber sensations.
I love this topic. Well, specifically, I love waking up in the morning and hearing your stories about what had happened the night before.
I know, because it usually, for me, always involves a sexy dream.
Right.
This doesn't happen for everybody. We're going to get into that, but mine are always sexy. And this is why you like it, because I get to recount exactly what happened. It's kind of like a hot wife thing. Maybe.
It kind of is.
What is a female sleep orgasm, right? It's the female version of a wet dream, also called a nocturnal orgasm, or sometimes they call it a nocturnal emission.
So that's for men. So when men ejaculate in their sleep, it's an emission.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. That did not fit for me at all. I was like, what?
Well, you don't have those problems, but the whole wet dream thing, that's a guy thing.
Yes. And so we will also talk about how that works for women. What causes them? Hormone fluctuations. Higher levels are going to get you a sleep orgasm. The sex dream doesn't always happen for everybody. You can have a nocturnal orgasm without a sex dream. They usually occur during REM sleep and usually when you're relaxed, right? So your body's very relaxed, and sometimes there's genital hypersensitivity. So if there's a brush against a bed sheet or a roving hand from Ed.
Sometimes happens.
You've been known to grope me in the middle of the night.
I have.
Like he's trying to have sex with me when you're totally asleep.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You're just...
like an octopus.
Yeah. Too bad you don't remember your sex dreams.
I occasionally remember them. Usually the dreams that I remember are just really weird dreams, which is not quite as much fun.
Oh, mine are much fun, much fun. Your sleep obviously reduces all of your inhibitions, relaxes your body. So if you have inhibitions during the day or with in waking hours, right?
Right.
You might have the sleep orgasms because you have no inhibitions in your sleep.
Yeah,
you can do anything you want to do.
You're all repressed in your conscious mind,
right.
But when you're unconscious, you kind of let it go.
Let it go. And when you're really exhausted, that can also make a difference.
Now, here's the real key to this. It's totally normal, as you said.
Yep.
And 37% of women have had them by the age of 45. So it happens pretty effectively and pretty often, usually 3 to 4 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right.
You have your quarterly, your dream. You, I think, have them a little bit more frequently than that, which is great. And they vary greatly from person to person. So no two women have the same kind of experience with their sleep orgasms. So it's just like waking orgasms, they're different.
Right. Yeah. And some have them often, some never.
Right.
I'm lucky to have them. I wish I would have them even more frequently than I do. I mean, I wish I had one every week. That would be amazing.
That would be
because they're
cool.
so good. You get to have different partners. You get to be in different homes. You get to be in different situations. Mine are always usually an orgy because I like orgies.
Right.
And there's always a bunch of people around. Even before we were swingers, they were like that. Somebody's over here, somebody's over there, somebody's talking over here. There were always people, multiple people present. It was never just me and somebody else.
So lots of public sex.
Yes.
You dream about public sex situations frequently.
Even before I was a swinger. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it was meant to be.
Apparently, your subconscious was all prepped for this and has been rolling out the red carpet for you the whole time.
Yep. Knocking on that little door. Hello.
So what are some of the ways you can tell that you've had one of these nocturnal orgasms?
I will literally wake up breathing heavy and I will feel sweaty. My whole body will feel like I have had an orgasm. So heart rate is increased, your blood flow is increased.
Just like the normal orgasm cycle where you get flushed, your skin is red, increased heart rate, blood pressure's gone up. Fascinating.
Sometimes I don't have the orgasm, but I'm getting to the crescendo.
Oh.
And then a sound will wake me up and then it gets ruined. And I'll tell you how I try to get back to those dreams.
You got to stay all the way to the end to hear that.
So for men, it's different. You know instantly because why?
Well, because you wet the bed.
Right.
You've made a mess in the sheets and you're going to have to clean them in the morning.
Now for women, fluid isn't always an indicator. You could become more moist down there. I do, but not every woman does. So... and that varies from woman to woman, right? And how their body operates.
Yeah, and that moisture could be present from other things. It doesn't necessarily even have to be an orgasm. It could just be
where you are in your cycle or all of that. When do these start?
Well, for women, usually in their 20s, and for men, in their teens. Now, here's the trick. You may be having them earlier, but there's no signs or symptoms of them until you can actually ejaculate. So I don't know. Maybe they've done significant studies on younger than teen boys, but I knew I was able to orgasm before I was able to orgasm, so to speak.
Oh, you just didn't know what it was called.
Well, there weren't any emissions.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So your body was having an orgasm, but you were so young you couldn't ejaculate yet.
Correct.
What?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm so jealous. Although You've got
stories about
that too. I do
too.
have stories about playing doctor as a kid.
And there you have it.
The more sexually active you are as a woman, that will also help with having these, hopefully, sexy dreams. And they do become less as you age, which is sad. So we need to keep that stimulation going so I keep having those dreams.
Exactly. I wonder how much of the physical stimulation of having sex regularly just kind of gets the mind primed for that. So when you're asleep, it's ready. It already knows what's going on. Those neural pathways have been formed and you're like ready to go.
It does. Some of that actually helps. So if you haven't had one and you want to get one, here's what you can do.
Ooh, boy.
More sexual stimulation before bed, which is basically where you were going with this, right?
Right.
Sexy conversations. Maybe you're watching some porn. You've had sex with your partner. Maybe you're just touching parts of your body to stimulate yourself that will, that just feel nice. And then you fall asleep. Your intent isn't to have an orgasm, but you are just lightly touching yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you fall asleep. Now, a lot of women can't, because once you start touching yourself, or guys, once you start touching yourself, you're like, oh my God, it feels so good. I have to do something.
I'm not going to bed till after. And then,
till after, right?
then it's done.
Also, what to the opposite, so this is kind of counter, there could be long periods of no sex or masturbation, and that also seems to help. So
it kind of makes sense. In a sense, your brain is trying to make up for that sensation being missing. And so it's like, well, I'm healing and repairing your body. And well, I'm going to take care of that too while I'm here.
Right. And sometimes I kind of attribute that to what we're going into next, which is stress. If you're having a lot of stress in your life, sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not. If you have too much anxiety or excitement, it can actually trigger it. Well, how it works is, say you're really, really stressed out in your day, you don't feel sexy enough to have sex with somebody, but then when you go to bed because you're so stressed out, that's what triggers it.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
And because you're so stressed out, you might get less sleep, which is also helpful.
Oh, so less sleep means that maybe your REM sleep's not as deep?
Yeah, it definitely affects your REM sleep. And so maybe that's where that you're not in a deep sleep as much, and maybe you're in more REM.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Lying on your stomach.
Right. You can introduce that stimulation on the fronts.
Yeah.
The front part down below and the front part in the front
and
up
the front
top.
front, up top, down below. You can also drink caffeine, which also elevates your sensitivity.
And cuts down on your ability to sleep.
Right.
So there you go.
Yes. So
it's not helping me. I mean, I'll drink coffee at night and it doesn't seem to get me there.
Yeah. All right. So here's how I get back to my sexy dream.
This is the super secret sauce to getting back into the fun time.
If you're one of those people that can have a lucid dream, which is a state of consciousness in your dream, you're aware that you're dreaming the dream.
Okay.
I can do this pretty often. So if something wakes me up and I've come out of it and I go, oh my God, that's such a sexy dream. Quick, go back in, go back to sleep. So I kind of talk myself back into the dream, and I can see, and it's almost like in the forefront of my brain, which it really is.
Sure.
I can see the imagery. I know where I was.
That short-term memory that you were having.
Yeah, the color of the couch, who was there,
Right.
And I try to go back down into it. So I kind of talk myself down into it. Doesn't always work. But I go back to the dream, but usually what doesn't happen is the sensation doesn't come back.
Right. So you're in your head, so to speak. So
yes.
You've reinforced those memories, and you've replayed them over and over, trying to get back to them.
Yeah.
And you get back to them, but then your brain's like, okay, we're just doing the memory game.
Yeah, yes. So it's kind of like a ruined orgasm, and you can't get back to it. You really want to. I mean, unlike a ruined orgasm, you can get back to it, but this way you can't. The key components to getting an orgasm are essentially exhaust yourself, add stress to your life, get less sleep, drink a Red Bull before bed, abstain from sex and masturbation and orgasms, watch porn before bed, and sleep on your stomach. So if you want to do all those things to try and experiment with having a sex dream, do it. I really want to hear about it.
I wonder if you could masturbate, but not to the point of orgasm, to kind of edge before you went to bed, and see if that kicked it off.
Yeah.
Because then you've really primed the pump.
Right.
We'll have to try.
But let me finish asking the question. Who has that kind of control? I know some people do, but I cannot go to the edge and go, okay, I'm going to go to sleep now. No.
Right.
I'm too revved up.
That's when the drawer opens and the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Some people I know like that edge play, but then to just
stop cold turkey. Yeah.
I don't know.
It seems like there's more research needed on this. I think there's some tests in the future.
Yeah, maybe I'll, I do like my sleep. I'm not going to test it on myself. I like my sleep, and I like not having a lot of stress because you live longer. So everybody else can test that theory.
I just won't test it in other ways.
I just won't have as many dreams. Dang it. So in closing,
hopefully all of you have enjoyed this episode and will enjoy some nocturnal orgasms sometime in your future, if not tonight. We'll put the thought in your head. We're orgasm. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you joining our community. Don't forget your homework. Tell a friend about our show. You can also leave us a voicemail at 916-538-0482 or contact us at swingeruniversity.com. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep it sexy.